The careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care is called stewardship. Watch Stewardship with SNB on RSTV. Stewardship with SNB. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another day with the program Stewardship, live here in the studios of Riverside Television, Channel 22, Port Harcourt. But just before we begin with the program, let's have my take. The political season is a period of sentiments and resentments. Friends become enemies, enemies become friends, depending on divergence or unity of interests. But despite the tensions and the wranglings, governance must continue, whether at the federal, state, or local government level. The rural dweller may not be politically savvy, but he knows his needs, and the closest tier of government to him is the local government. Today on the program, Stewardship, we shall be considering local government administration and the challenges of rural development. I have with me in the studio a gentleman of high profile to discuss this topic elaborately. First, I have with me in the studio a Justice of Peace in River State, a Christian by faith who attended State School 1, Rebisi Diobu, Port Harcourt, between 1983 to 1988, Government Secondary School Okehi Eche, River State, where he bagged a senior school certificate between 1988 to 1993. Then to the River State University, where he obtained a B.Tech in electrical engineering between 1996 to 2001. He went further to the University of Port Harcourt to obtain a PGD in environmental management between 2010 and 2011. Still at the University of Port Harcourt, he was awarded an MSc in disaster risk management between 2011 to 2012. My guest served his compulsory one-year National Youth Service scheme at the Edo State House of Assembly, Edo State, in the year 2002. He was councillor representing Omagwa Ward 9 in IKWERRE local government area between 2004 to 2007. He is the three-time caretaker committee chairman of IKWERRE local government area between 2015 to 2016. My guest is the former PDP publicity secretary, River State. He is the Honorable Samuel OSOROCHI, NWANOSIKE, chairman, IKWERRE local government area. To join our interaction session on this program Stewardship, call the numbers 080-3341-3360, again 080-3341-3360, or send text only to the number 081-725-23884, 081-725-23884 for text only. Join us on social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter at Stewardship with SNB. You can also watch us live on GoTV channel 103 and StarTimes channel 113. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid, and my guest is the chairman of IKWERRE local government area, the Honorable Samuel OSOROCHI, NWANOSIKE. Honorable, welcome to the program Stewardship.
Thank you very much
for
this
opportunity.
opportunity.
Knows you with the name, your middle name OSOROCHI. What does it mean?
OSOROCHI is how it pleases God.
How it pleases God.
Yeah.
Indeed, how it pleases God that you are chairman of IKWERRE local government.
Yes,
area.
that is.
But to start with, we'll just show you a video clip and then we'll quickly comment on that. Let's see the video clip.
Because you want a man to work well for you, give him all the tools and equipment man needs, the excuses will not be given. You send a man to go to farm and you don't give him knife, you don't give him shovel, you don't give him wheelbarrow. What's he going to work with? You're going to work with his bare hand. That's how it's good. I want you to know that I might not have all the time to be sitting down and bringing out policies or ideas on how you drive the committees. Please, can you put your phone on silent? And let me also say from today henceforth, I want to first of all congratulate you for the appointment and also thank you for accepting to do this job with the local government. And also tell you that this job is key to us as a government. If we succeed in sending our people back to school, we succeed in sending our people back to farm, and we also succeed in providing job opportunities for our people. No matter the number, they have seen clearly that we have clear vision and we have the political sagacity to bring efforts towards making life better for them. You can't solve all the problems in the local government in these 3 years. When you look at how this local government is today, and you're a proud person, you can't go outside and tell that you're from the local government. But it's a nice song. Our leader saw the photographs I showed him this morning. I took time and took the photograph of this council. He was shocked that this is the local government. I know you have not found time to come here before. But by the grace of God, before December this year, we will invite him formally to come to this local government. Because I believe that God will give us the resources to put up a system that will be worth the effort. So I want to say clearly that your job has begun. I need to receive on a daily or weekly basis advices, ideas, programs from you. And also, it's not all your ideas that will go through. It's not all your suggestions through that the council will accept. And also understand that the third year employment resources are scarce. So the ability for us to manage the little resources that come to us is what will make us a successful.
Mr. Chairman, you featured principally in that video. Which body were you given charge to?
Okay,
you know that local government administration is basically about the people. So tell us what you were doing there.
Okay, that video you see there was just showing, it was the third day in office, the third day after I was sworn in as the government of IKWERRE Local Government Council. And while we were campaigning around the 13 wards and 14 communities in IKWERRE Local Government and 181 police units in IKWERRE Local Government, we did make promises to our people. We ran our campaign on 5 points agenda. And we believe that government is not to come and make excuses. As soon as you're given the mandate, you must go to work. You should have been ready before coming to seek the vote of the people. So what you saw there was we trying to inaugurate the standing committees in the key areas of our political promises to the people. You know, I have this idea and mindset that, look, the problem we have in our society is today that they are trying to build our nation from the top to the bottom, and it's not working. So why don't we change our strategy and try to build our nation from the bottom to the top? Let's make governance, government business very important at the grassroots, because the drafters of our constitution, we are very careful in drafting the constitution of this country. Our problem in this nation is not our laws. We have enabling laws. We have adequate laws to be able to produce wonderful results in our society. But the problem we have is the political will to be able to administer those laws without fear or favor. So what we're doing there was to inaugurate the ad hoc committee and to charge them to go to work. We did inaugurate 3 strategic committees: back to school, back to farm, and the employment generation and empowerment committee. And as we speak here now, these committees are on their toes, working day and night. In fact, the back to school have done their first phase. They are about to do their second phase at the end of next week. The first phase, they captured close to about say 300 to 400 peoples, which they've registered in GC and in JAMB. The second phase is going to target close to about 500. Now, the back to farm people has also started. They've gone to Alo community, they've gone to Igruta community, they've gone to Zoha community. They're about to visit Omademe community by the end of
in the case of the back
Friday.
to school committee, who are the direct beneficiaries? Is it indigent members of IKWERRE local government area?
Indigent. It's specifically stated there. If you can't go and give that opportunity to those who have a well-to-do background, because there's no need for that. They're already either exposed or their families have what it takes to be able to sponsor them. We're talking about young and brilliant and those that have the zeal that want to pursue education based on the orientation we have passed on them, that are from the poor backgrounds that cannot be able to afford the fees. So we believe that it's a clear policy that will kickstart it rather than holding seminars and symposiums and talking plenty of stories. Get the job done, get them registered in the way, get them. While I was a healthcare committee chairman, we did apply this process and it worked. We were able to encourage close to about 1,200 and something people to go to write JAMB and WAEC, and it will shock you to know that close to about 710 of them are right now in the university or various universities. Yeah. And yes, to you it might be
courtesy of your administration.
Courtesy of the administration of IKWERRE people. Okay. I don't have any administration of my own. Now the issue is simple. You might think it's not. It's just like when Awo was in charge of the Western region, when he was shouting free education and insisting that the Westerners should go to school. A lot of people saw it that he's having a misplaced priority. Why those in the north are building groundnut pyramids and doing this? We're here in the east. We are building. We are doing our palm oil business and trying to do one or two for ourselves. Awo was busy building human capacity. And today you can agree with me that the Western world rules Nigeria economy. They are the hub of every business activity. There is no business activity you do today if they have 10 persons there, that at least minimum of 5 or 6 will not be from the Western community. It's something that has become natural, and we've come to accept it because they are the most qualified, because they access education on time. So for us, what you saw there was trying to set up the foundation of our government, because we did make a promise to our people, and we must do everything as a team to make sure these promises are kept, and that is what governance is all about.
We'll show you another video and then we'll go straight into where we're here again. Studio, let's have that video clip again. Another video clip.
And while you're doing, I don't know, we also consider how to send the water. Yes. You have to send out the water. That's the only way we can get maximum use of this market. A lot of community people are there in the house. They can't come out to go and do market because the market is not good. And people cannot bring their product on this kind of environment. So we need to make it something that's accessible for the local people. Let them come and find something they can do. Even though these boys who are doing these things, some of them, if you smoke more things for them, they can be doing it. And the whole issues will just end. Some people don't have what to do. So they don't mind the devil function.
Again, Mr. Chairman, we saw you in that video conducting some people around for inspection. What were you actually inspecting? We saw that structure in not quite good state of affair. What were you inspecting?
Yeah, you know, when we took over office, we decided to take access of all our properties, because coming into government, you must be able to know that you have the responsibility of taking care of both assets and liability. And in part of the assets, we wanted to know the state of the properties belonging to IKWERRE local government council, and so we decided to take a facility tour in the various wards in the IKWERRE local government. The photograph, the visuals you saw there is our visit to Obima, Obima market. And when we got there, we found out that is not a proper place where people can do business. And so we've given clear instructions on, the man standing close to me was the council engineer, who is under instruction to make sure that a lot is to be achieved between now and December. We have put a target for December 29th. To be able to touch a lot of places in the IKWERRE local government and see them have a new look. You know, the resources are scarce. The ability for you to be able to navigate the management of your resources as it comes from the federal allocation and from the internal generated revenue makes you a better local government council. So for me and my team, we decided that, look, we wouldn't believe in the stories the councillors will come and tell us, or stakeholders will come and tell us from their communities. We want to go and see for ourselves, so that when everybody is bringing the information from his or our communities, we have something to refer back to and to cross-check and to find out that this what they are telling us is the truth, because we can't be everywhere at the same time. So that's why we took that tour, and I can assure you, as we speak today, that a lot of things are happening at the local level, and by the grace of God, before the end of December, we could be able to come back to you to say, yes, come with your crew and come and see what we've been able to achieve.
We'll get to know all of that when we return from the break. We'll take a short break and then we'll come back to the live studio. Please stay with us. Stewardship with SNB. local government area for 3 times. Now you are the executive council, executive chairman of the local government area. What would you say are the major challenges that have ever confronted you as caretaker and of course as executive chairman?
A fight against insecurity and lack of resources.
The fight against insecurity?
Yes.
And lack of resources?
Yes.
From which end do you lack resources?
We lack resources because we think from what we are seeing today is not what Nigerians expect. Those who are running the federal government today, who by the design of our constitution as we speak now until the structure is done, they are the ones that have the capacity to sell our natural resources, the oil they get from our environment, and they are the ones that account for how much comes from federal allocation and all the rest. So the discrepancies and the inconsistencies we see these days in federal allocation, the FAC meetings and the issues that come out of them is worrisome. And don't forget that recently we saw the former Minister of Finance come up to call on Mr. President to please do the needful by coming to investigate the activities of the NNPC and the way and the way funds are remitted to the federation account, and that there are a lot of questions to be answered and things are not done properly. The next few weeks we saw heavy attack on her person. People had to go and dig up the skeletons in her cupboard, showing that there are people that believe that she has stepped on their toes, even if they all belong to the same political family, they didn't care. And at the end of the day, she had to resign her office. But that's their cup of coffee. For us as Nigerians, the worry is what we expect to see from Federation account is not what's getting to us. And we know Nigerians are now convinced that there are a lot of corrupt practices going on in the NNPC. There is a lot of mismanagement of our resources going on, and Nigerians are now bold enough to confront the leadership of this government at federation level that, look, we are seeing shady deals happening in the NNPC. So these are the areas where we say we have lack of resources. And the area of the fight against insecurity, it has not been easy, but God has been helping us, and we give God Almighty the glory, because this job comes with a lot of threats. This job comes with a lot of inconveniences, lack of sleep, lack of rest. This job comes with a lot of hazard. As I speak to you, I've lost some of my aides to this fight, because it's one of the promises we made to our people while we were campaigning. We say, look, when you give us the opportunity to become the government of IKWERRE local government at the local level, at the third-tier level, that will stop this issue of civilian generals. We are young boys and girls who have no education, who have no training, who have no knowledge, because they have gone to initiate themselves into one court group or the other, will carry arms and be intimidating the local community, walk around in the streets and as if nobody, there's no security, there's no law enforcement agents that will harass them, that those areas will be forgotten. And right from when we were caretaker committee, we've been fighting that issue. God helped us while we were caretaker committee, we achieved a whole lot. In fact, the issue of the amnesty became possible in our local government because God gave us the grace to insist that those young men must give up their arms, and they did. Now, when we left and other people came in, we don't know, somehow they came back again. But when we were campaigning to become the elected government, we saw that they have returned, and we did promise our people that when we come into office, we'll make sure they will be a thing of the past. And as I speak to you today, I don't think there's any community where young men are brandishing dangerous shotguns and weapons that has instilling fears in the heart of the people. In fact, let me tell you one thing that is remarkable that we have done, I and my team, is that as soon as we took office, we realized that a lot of communities don't pass information to security agents because it's either they are compromised, either their relatives involved or their son children are involved in these issues, or some of them that are traditional rulers got to the traditional stools with the support of these criminals, or some of them that are CDC chairmen got to their office as CDC chairman with the support of these criminals. So we decided to say no, we'll invoke the constitution and the local government laws established by the Universal House of Assembly that gives us the power to regulate the activities of Community Development Council, to dissolve all Community Development Councils in IKWERRE local government and conduct a proper election. The era where community leaders and traditional leaders will sit down in the comfort of their bedroom and write names of few men and women and say they are the Community Development Council of that community. Now, it's unacceptable by us. that democracy must be
Mr.
allowed
Chairman,
to.
We'll go back to security issues, but on a scale of 10, how would you want to rate the security situation in your local government area? On a scale of 10?
Well, I can say we've gotten up to 70%.
70%.
Yes, because all over the world there are pockets of crime here and there. So the few pockets of crime that are still happening in the local government is the 30%, is the 30% we are talking about.
So the people can sleep with their 2 eyes.
Yes, of course, you can go and ask questions. You can take a camera crew to the local government, riding from Igruta down to Apani or Nomorelu and find out for yourself, because we will like, when we say things, people should have time to check and confirm to us.
Mr. Chairman, you talked about revenue. It brings to mind the issue of JAC and F&J meetings at the local government area F&J at the state JAC meeting. What actually transpires there at the JAC meeting?
Well, JAC meeting is, as established by law, a meeting where the state and the local government sit down jointly to look at the federal allocation at accrued to the local government. And that's all. And I want to seize the opportunity to thank His Excellency Governor Zebonye Sonwike for being very prudent and transparent in the activities that happened in the JAC meeting. For the very first time, we've never heard any story or any intimidation from any quarter that the government of Rivers State is interested in our funds. They are not. In fact, I can tell you that most time the government of Rivers State comes to our aid to support us financially outside our statutory allocation that has come to us to support us financially to do most of our activities, including security and other issues in the local government area. And it's commendable, because the government of Rivers State believes that the local government is that government that is closer to the people, and because they at the state level can have the opportunity of reaching everybody in the 319 wards in Rivers State. So having a local government close to them will make the job easier, and the governor has been doing a wonderful job in that aspect.
Mr. Chairman, it is arguably true that most council chairmen do not have budget to operate with, yet they spend money. What's the implication of that? Do you also have a budget or not?
Yeah.
When you operated as council caretaker committee chairman, did you operate without a budget, or you operated with budget? What is it now? What is the implication without operating with a budget?
Well,
because the budget serves as a guide to fiscal discipline. I'm talking about money, spending money.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's correct that any government can run at any level without a budget. While I was a local government chairman, the three tenures I spent 3 months, which is about 9 months plus, we had budgets. You understand? And now that I'm elected chairman, you can go and ask. I think, if I'm not mistaken, our government, the IKWERRE Local Government Council, was the first to send our budget to the Legislative Council. And it was called a supplementary budget because of the time we came into office. There was already an existing budget by the previous administration, was the caretaker committee that handed over to us. So we had the need to send a supplementary budget to the Legislative Council, which we did. And as I speak to you, very soon, that supplementary budget, the I's and the T's will be dotted and crossed, and they'll send it to us for assent, and it will become law. And nobody can run any government, I repeat, without a budget. You can't even run your family home without a budget.
Mr. Chairman, from your resume that we read here to the public, we can easily deduce that you did your NYC at the Edo State House of Assembly. Was it a thing of choice, or it was by providence? And how has it affected your decisions in politics?
Well, first of all, I believe in the Nigerian project. I believe in this country, Nigeria. I believe in our diversity. I believe in our population. I believe our different ethnic and different religious background is the strength God has given to us. So to me, it wasn't a problem wherever I'm posted to. In fact, I was ready to see the Nigerian nation via my NYSC. And I thank God Almighty that I had the opportunity of being posted to Edo State, and particularly in the Edo State House of Assembly, to serve there. And I can tell you, I had a lot of experience. I learned a lot while I was serving, because I give all my service days a full time. And my CDS was in narcotics and drug use. And I remember me and my group, we had a lot of symposium and awareness. We took them to the secondary school areas, and we learned a lot. We shared a lot too with the local populace, and we did our best. And I can tell you, NYSC is one program that will keep uniting Nigerians, because it gives an opportunity for somebody from the north to come down and know how the south and the west looks like, and somebody from the south to go up to the north. And the first time I went to the north was actually when my wife, then my fiancée, was in NYSC up there north in Maiduguri. And it will shock you that I had to go and visit her there to see how that place is. And it was a lovely experience. So NYSC is a good thing, and it should be strengthened, and Nigerians should see that NYSC is a special activity that every Nigerian should try as much as possible to go through and have an experience. If I have my way as an individual, I will even repeat this law of what they call exemption. It doesn't matter the age. If you've not had that experience, you're lacking on it. So if you have the strength in your bones and you can be able to go and do that, why you do the exemption? Allow Nigerians from whatever age they have to be able to do that compulsory 1-year service to the nation, and I think it's a good idea.
Mr. Chairman, you were one of those electoral officers who conducted the Rivers West PDP senatorial primary elections, and in fact, you were calling the shots. What will you say of the process that produced Betia Perfect?
Wonderful, credible.
Tell us about it.
Credible because primary elections have stipulated principles as stated by our party guidelines, stated by the INEC guidelines, electoral act, and the constitution overall. And those processes are simple. First, accreditation, constituting the Congress, appointing electoral officers at the various local government that make up that senatorial districts, making sure the ballot boxes are clean in the watch of INEC, making sure the what they call it, the ballot papers are in tandem with the number of accredited delegates that are in that hall, and all these processes are followed, and making sure that each aspirant comes with their agent to monitor the voting process, and after voting, during the sorting, the agents of the votes of all the candidates will be, aspirants will be there to sort the votes belonging to the aspirant. At the end of the day, the counting will be done. And by our law, it is to be declared by simple majority. Even if you score 1 vote more than your opponent, you've won the election. So to me, the process that happened in the Rivers West Senatorial District that I had the opportunity and privilege of conducting as a returning officer was a wonderful one, and I want to seize the opportunity to commend all the aspirants that participated in that election and to tell them that, look, even if you've not won today, you've made a mark, because PDP has come to apologize to the Nigerian nation that the days of impunity are gone. So Nigerians are waiting to see how all our activities will transpire. And as you have seen clearly, starting from our House of Assembly primaries down to the presidential primaries, everything was done before the watch of the entire nation, and Nigerians have seen clearly that PDP actually had truly repented from the days of impunity. There's a new branded PDP led by men of vigor and men of good conscience and men who means well for this nation, Nigeria, and that this new brand PDP is going to give Nigerians the needed development, the needed hope that they want, that they wish that they will have. We're a nation that is sitting on a lot of wealth and resources. We live in one of the safest places in the world. Geography that I read told us that we live in the safest place in this world. So what we are lacking is leadership. We have the local laws, we have the manpower in our population, but we are lacking that leadership. And what PDP, the way PDP has positioned itself today, is positioned to produce that leadership that can be able to push Nigeria to the path of development. Once again, we will become the fastest growing economy and even become the actual giant of this continent called Africa.
Once again, the PDP will become the fastest growing economy and the giant of Africa. These are the words of the chairman of IKWERRE local government area, the Honorable Samuel NWANOSIKE. We'll take another short break and we'll come back to the live studio again. Stewardship with SNB. The careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care is called stewardship. Watch Stewardship with SNB on RSTV. Stewardship with SNB. Hello, you're welcome back again to the live studio. The program is Stewardship, and my guest here live in the studio is the chairman of IKWERRE local government area, the Honorable Samuel NWANOSIKE. We'll take more of calls, and then while we interact with our chairman, the numbers to call once again are 08033413360. Again, 080-3341-3360. Or take text messages to the numbers 081-725-23884. You can send your text messages to the number 081-725-23884. Mr. Chairman, before we talk about politics, let's look at your revenue base, federal allocation. Are there other sources of revenue coming from your LGA?
Yes, of course.
The churches have become, your LGA has become a safe haven for some churches to build their permanent sites. Do you charge them? Do you pay taxes to the council? What's your relationship with them?
Yeah, first of all, like you know, I'm a Christian, 100% Christian. I have no regrets to be a Christian because it is a wonderful experience to be a child of God. And again, the development urbanization is heading towards IKWERRE local government. So it's not a misplaced fact that a lot of churches are moving their headquarters to IKWERRE local government. And we welcome that because it's going to open up the IKWERRE local government for a lot of economic activities. Now, as a team of policy and as a child of God, I and my team, knowing what we have gone through, knowing the dark roads we have walked on, knowing that there's only one man who had made it possible for us to walk through that dark path and we are still alive today, breathing hell and hearty and still having hope to do greater things in the future. That's only one person that has made this possible. And that person is the omnipotent, the man that created I and you, who we do not see, but we know he exists, and who gives us the opportunity to live on this planet Earth. And so as a team, we have agreed that, look, whatever has to do with encouraging the work of God, whatever has to do with spreading the gospel, that we must participate in it. And our little way of participating in it.
While we continue with that thought, let's take a call, and then we lost a call. Please, you may continue.
And our only way of participating in that, expanding the word of God, expanding the work of God on the planet Earth, is to encourage these churches come to do their projects in our local government without taking anything.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may stay away from your TV or turn down the volume. Say your name, or we lost our call. It will come again. Continue.
So we have decided to make it as a team of policy that all churches, no matter the denomination, that has programs to do in IKWERRE local government, even if the law has given us the authority to collect tenement rates, land rate levies from them, that we're going to write them off. That God that fed the children of Israel in the desert, that saw them through the wilderness, will see us through. That funds we're going to take from the churches is not what's going to solve all our problem. The problem God has been solving for us, we don't know how he solves it. And so that's our decision, and that's what's been going on.
Mr. Chairman, it is worthy of note that local government chairmen are the foot soldiers of the government, particularly here in Rivers State, the foot soldiers of the governor. Now, what assurances are you giving to the governor come 2019 that he will be voted massively by all local governments in the state?
Well, we need to correct this impression of the fact that local government chairmen are foot soldiers of the governor. That's not correct. The governor is our leader. The governor is leading party image, because it's a political party that feeds in candidates for every election. And it's the image of the party that is important. If you do well as a local government chairman at your various local government level, it is your party image that you're selling, and you definitely reflect back on the party issue. And let me also tell you, we are very lucky as local government chairman that even before we came on board, our governor, our leader had done so much for the various local government, 23 local governments in Rivers State. There is no one of these local government that the governor of Rivers State under Elizabeth Oboye-Sowiko, the government of Rivers State under Elizabeth Oboye-Sowiko has not done minimum 3-4 projects. As going on, heavy projects. I talk about my own local government. For the very first time, we are seeing internal road in Ishokbo. We are seeing Omademe, Ipo, Ozoha, internal road done completely and commissioned. We are seeing Obrikwere Airport Road done commissioned with street light. For the very first time, my people, Omagwa people, we see that the street lights from Airport Junction down to Elele is working on a daily basis. You understand? We are seeing that the Obodo Uniport Road is completed and commissioned. We are seeing clearly that the governor has completed Ishobo General Hospital. We are seeing clearly that the governor has almost completed Ubima Secondary School. You understand? And this...
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon. You are on.
Yes,
You're on to the live studios of RSTV.
yeah, my name is Obina.
Your name is Obina.
Yeah,
Yes, go on. Where are you calling from, Obina, please?
I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go on with your questions or contributions. The
Yes,
chairman.
my question is that I want to ask the chairman. I respect him as the chairman of the local government. I want to ask him what has been the project he has initiated in the current local government.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Thank you. The chairman he has heard you. He will answer the questions. Thank you. Obina called there.
If Obina has been listening to us, I think this question wouldn't have been necessary. Because Obina has said clearly that we run our campaign on 5-point agenda. We said we will fight insecurity. We said we will send our people back to school. We said we will send our people back to farm as soon as the entire forest is cleared by these criminals, which God has helped us to do. And our people have gone back to farm. We said we will encourage our people get good healthcare services. And as we speak, we've started community health free medical services in conjunction with National Youth Service Corps, which are posted in the Ikwerre local government. We are doing it in a partnership. And as we speak, Obina is aware that worker salary is paid as at when due. And like I was telling you, that the ability for every leader to manage the resources of his very local government, to be able to create the needed results in the local government is important. Everybody that wears shoes know where the shoe pinches him or her from. You cannot say your house is on fire. Instead of making sure the fire of your house is off, you're busy chasing the rat in your house. You understand the point I'm making? So if Obina was following us off from ab initio of this program, he wouldn't have asked this question. We have, and as we speak, the evidence are there to speak for itself. We have created these programs, and the programs are running and running very, very well. Now, we met a council that had no structure to run with, because the previous administration, I don't like complaining about past administration, that's just my problem. I don't believe in storytelling, because I find it difficult when the federal government come to complain about the previous administration. You knew that these crises are there, and you came to campaign that you could do better, because the other man that was living has failed. So why come and be referencing the other man when you have job to do? Because what I'm about to say will shock you, that a previous administration took a loan from a bank, brought down originally existing council secretariat where workers stayed to work, and embezzled the entire money. Today I'll speak to you, the project is on DPC level. So now that we have come on board as a local government, we have decided to put in our budget the building of our council secretariat brand new. And because for the council to do, we can't blame the workers. We have close to about 1,000-something workers. When they come to work, the workspace is just for 50 persons. So where we close to 1,000 plus stay and work. You just saw the point I'm making. So we are doing everything possible to make sure we make the local government area habitable. As I came on board, we decided to do some reconstructions. Obina should come to Ikwerre local government and see what we have done.
Okay, let's take this call again. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may say your name, where you are calling from. Oh, we lost that call. Mr. Chairman, let's go back to the issue before Obina called. The chances of Governor Wike winning 2019 election in Rivers State. And then what you, close associate of the governor, what plans you have put on ground to deliver him.
First of all, it is the people that will deliver the governor, not we, the local government chairman. Because we all have one vote. And the governor does not need just only our one vote to become the governor for the second time.
It is in your powers to galvanize support.
No. Get the point clearly.
Yes.
Get the point clearly. That is where people will miss it. If you don't carry the local populace along, then you have a problem as a local government chairman. This project is the people's project. Governor Wike has made every Rivers man and woman proud. Whether you're a politician, whether you're a middle class worker, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an artisan, whether you're a religious worker, whatever you are, and as long as you live in Rivers State, you can see clearly that Governor Wike has broken all the records. Despite the pressure from the federal government, despite the rerun that has happened in Rivers State, despite all the court cases and the harassment from the security agents, and those who have tried so much hard to demarcate Rivers State before the eye of the world, Governor Wike excelled. He sat down, God gave him the wisdom, gave him the courage, gave him the ability to be able to think through and manage the resources available to him. That is what is going to make the Governor Wike come back in second tenure. Because the people are lining up and saying, look, it is either Wike or nobody. The era where they say they're going to bring American Marine, they're going to bring British Air Force to come and stop the re-election of Governor Wike, it won't work in Rivers State. Because the people have resolved. Check out the PVC collection and the voters registration record in this last exercise INEC has concluded. You will see the fast growth of Rivers people. You will see how Rivers people has come out to say no, they must get the PVC card to pay back Governor Wike in good terms what he has done for them. Coming to your studio here, I drove past a wonderful road they call Transamade Woji Road. This road has been a death trap in the time past. The road made a lot of business owners vacate Rivers State and took their business elsewhere. Today is a serene environment. In fact, we all have even forgotten the days where we used to take you hours to come to work in RSTV. But today is a thing that can be taken for granted. You will tell me that starts of RSTV, when they go to the polling booths to vote, they will not vote a man that have made it easy for them to come to work early in the morning and go home safely when they close from work. That's what they vote. So this issue is not about local government chairman. I want us to understand. It's the issue of the people of Rivers State. And the people of Rivers State have resolved that yes, Wike have done very well in all the 23 local government in Rivers State, and they're going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that he's re-elected. Now, coming to me and my colleagues as local government chairman, ours is to do well as local government chairman to complement what Governor Wike has done already in our various local government. And I can tell you, me and my colleagues, we are doing greatly. You understand? We are doing greatly. Today, when you talk about empowering the people, there is none of the local government area where people are not getting direct empowerment from the local government council. That's the point you're talking about.
Okay, we will take this call and then, hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may say your name, where you're calling from, and then your questions or your contribution to the program. Oh, we lost that call. We'll take another quick break and then come back to the live studio for the last segment of this program. Please stay with us. Stewardship with SNB. The careful and responsible management of something entrusted towards care is called stewardship. Watch Stewardship with SNB on RSTV. Still on to the live studios of River State Television, Channel 22 Port Harcourt. My name is Solomon Nelson Brait. My guest on the program Stewardship today is the chairman of IKWERRE local government area, the Honorable Samuel NWANOSIKE. Honorable, what is trending now is who or where will Atiku, the PDP presidential candidate, pick his vice. We have the South has 8 million votes. The Southeast has 7 million plus. And then the Southwest has about 15 million votes. Where do you think, if you were Atiku, you will pick your vice from, given this analysis?
Well, first of all, in answering the question, if I was Atiku, I will pick my vice from the area where the political leaders that make up a political party will agree with me that the vice should come from. Because politics is not a one-man game. It's a game of everybody. It has nothing to do with the vote records you've read from the different zones, because those vote records don't really transfer into voting. You understand the point I'm making? So you must carry all stakeholders along in taking this decision, except you want them to take wrong decision that will affect your victory. So if I were Atiku, I would make sure every political leader that has a stake will be on a round table with me, and we'll look at the indices of all these vice presidential candidates, one after another, and agree where we think it should go to. With the agreement, then every other zone will be happy to, because it's not only the vice president that is going to be on the table. A lot of things pertaining his government, his cabinet.
But that is what is most trending now.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me. The point is that you don't only go to a discussion with that. On that table will be a lot of issues. If this don't come to you, that will come to you in the future. And as a gentleman, when that agreement is reached, you must try and keep to it as a political leader. So if I were to go, that's what I would do. Then now, in telling you clearly, in the People's Democratic Party, our leaders have all it takes to select a competent and capable vice president that will not only support Atiku to do the job, but will create activities that will show clearly that the office of the vice president is not just a domicile office.
Let's take that call, and then, we lost the call again. Please, you may continue. Then let's look at the chances of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku winning the presidential election in 2019. What do you think are his chances, if you had to analyze?
I think your reporters would have expressed that to you as soon as he emerged as a candidate. He saw the jubilation all over the nation. Let me just cascade to you an indices. First of all, when the PDP they wanted to destroy, when God helped us in Supreme Court and PDP was restored back, you saw the jubilation all over this nation. All over this nation, in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, Nigerians ran into the streets and were jubilating. You know why? Because Nigerians are tired. We are tired of the current situation we have now called the federal government. So, when Atiku emerged as the candidate of the party in a transparent primaries, and I thank God Almighty that the All Progressive Congress, which is the federal government today, had not come to say that that primaries was not transparent. And the same people that I was saying that Rivers State was not safe, the same people that I said that the Rivers State governor does not have the capacity to conduct a credible Congress, you have seen it clearly that they've been disappointed. All the delegates that stayed in Rivers State had no issue. There was no one incident, there was no one crisis. We had a peaceful convention and a peaceful Congress where Atiku emerged as a candidate of the party. And the party had lined up behind him. That's what they call democracy. Yes, you might prefer another candidate to win, but if your candidate loses as a party man, you heard all the aspirants speak. As soon as Atiku emerged, they lined up behind him. Yeah. That shows you clearly that Nigerians are waiting for that date. Just that date we are waiting for. It's the date. And that's what we're asking President Muhammadu Buhari. Please, if you have failed in everything, please don't fail in giving us a credible election. Because remember, it was Jonathan that set the pace by giving a credible election that allowed for the very first time in Africa a sitting president to lose election. In this, our Nigeria, a sitting president lost election, considered and congratulated, and make sure the transition was smooth. He didn't go to tribunal. He said, no, let's have peace in this nation.
No,
so,
let's
yes.
take this call and then we'll continue with that thought. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Could you say your name, where you are calling from, please?
Okay, I'm calling from Port Harcourt. My name is Emeka.
Emeka, go on.
Okay. I'm the chairman, please. I want to know from the chairman whether he is really saying within his mind that Governor Wike has extended the hands of fellowship terms of projects to every local government in Rivers State. Because what you tell a blind man is that there's no oil in the soup. You cannot tell a blind man that there's no salt in the soup.
Mr. Emeka, you please confine yourself to the issues where we're here. We're talking about local government administration and how it affects the people. And the chairman is here to take such questions. Why not ask questions on what he has done for his people and then what he intends to do and all of that?
I've not seen what he has done in the IKWERRE. That's your party.
No. Let me say this. For me, everybody should have their opinion You know, what Mr. Emeka has asked, let me just answer him quickly. Mr. Emeka, I want to challenge Mr. Emeka to a public debate. I want to challenge Mr. Emeka to come down to this studio, any other studio in Rivers State. I will come down to that studio with facts and figures, pictorial evidence, and I'm also ready to finance our tour with Mr. Emeka and I and you and your crew being on one vehicle. Let's go around the 23 local government council, including the Riverine area. There is no one local government in 23 local governments in Rivers State that the government of Oyesunki does not have minimum of 3 projects going on. No one. No one. Not talking about Port Harcourt, Obiakpo, that are the urban areas, Oyibo, Eleme, and IKWERRE local government and Mohwa, that you can call the urban areas, that the governor has not done close to 5, 6, or 7 projects, or even more. So, if Mr. Emeka is not politically biased, I think he should realize that he's talking to the people of Rivers State. And if he's just coming back from a trip, I think he needs to ask questions around so that he will be properly informed before he comes to the public to ask these questions that have no bearing. Governor Oyesunki has not only initiated projects, he has completed projects in virtually all the local governments in Rivers State.
Mr. Chairman, let's look at Osun and Ekiti. We saw what happened there, what transpired there. In fact, in the case of Osun, PDP was winning until the election result was put on hold, and later they announced a winner from the other party. In Ekiti, the same thing played out. In 2019, what if the same scenario in Ekiti and Osun plays out in Rivers State? How prepared is your party? You are a party man.
You know why I don't like talking about this issue, the particular question you're asking me now, is that Nigerians now know the truth. Nigerians are aware that INEC is being intimidated and is being harassed by the federal government, APC-led federal government. We all saw on the national television when the returning officer in Osun was about to announce that result, and somebody slipped the paper to him. They should go and play that visuals from channels or from AIT. You will see it clearly. We want to know what was contained in that paper that was slipped to that man. And as soon as he got the paper and looked at that paper, he did a U-turn and started telling us stories of how some results that were cancelled can affect the general outcome and all this. We know the truth. The Electoral Act and the Constitution is not in contrast in that matter.
So how prepared is your party if the same scenario plays out here?
Well, it's not only my party. Nigerians are saying that we want a credible election where INEC will be independent completely to do their services. It's not only my party. But if I must answer the way you are pushing it, in Rivers State we are ready. We told them we are ready when we did the rerun. They thought we were joking. We did the first rerun. They tried the will of the people of Rivers State and they saw it. We told them we are ready when we did the second rerun. They tried the will of the Rivers people and they saw it. Now, it's not an isolated election like the reruns that we had. You know, this is going to be a general election. We are aware of the plots of trying to create crisis so that Rivers election will be, the date will be shifted so that it become an isolation. It won't work. We will hold our election the same time other general elections are holding, and the vote of the people will count in Rivers State. You cannot give what you don't have. APC made a lot of promises to Nigerians. No one of those promises has been kept. In fact, they even denying most of the promises they made. In fact, okay, the ones they have accepted, keep to those ones now, no way. This is the treasure base of the nation, Rivers State. And you can tell me that somebody will sit down there as a president who says he has a super minister, who says his director of campaign in his election is from Rivers State. Yet, no one project will come to Rivers State via their government. And you want Rivers people to do what? To clap for them?
Let's take
it's unfortunate.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost that call. You may continue with that thought. Yes.
So, Rivers people are not blind. Like that man said, yeah, yes, you can tell a blind man that there is no oil in the soup, but you cannot tell there is no salt and pepper. We have seen clearly there's nothing to show for. Is it the international airport that they say they will complete? Is it the East-West Road that they say they will do? Apart from those ones, they should tell us one thing that has come through there. When Ezeboye Sowike was Minister for Education State, I can tell you clearly that Ezeboye Sowike attempted project to Rivers State in several quarters. Is it the e-library he built in Federal Government College, Port Harcourt? Or is it the e-library he built in Federal Government College, Gas College, Aboloma? Or is it the secondary school he built in Noma Precom? Or is it the law faculty that he started and built in University of Port Harcourt? Or is it the fund support that he attracted and they gave to Kensari Memorial Polytechnic? Or is it the support that they gave to Port Harcourt Polytechnic, or is it? No, when you look at a man that makes way for his people, you understand? You will see it from his antecedents. Ezebonye Sonwike is a man, when he was as a minister, junior minister in that matter, he attended this project and made sure Rivers people were having the feel of the federal government. Now, you are a senior minister. You claim that you have the ears of Mr. President. And today, you cannot come and hold to one thing. The only thing you can bring to Rivers State is confusion and crisis and division. Even in your political family, you have everything is shattered and destroyed. Just yesterday, we heard that the court has finally put a nail on their coffin. For us, as a political party, we're not bothered with what happens because they don't even exist in the first place. But what membership do they have? All their members have left and joined the PDP. So, because they have seen that these are years, we have provided the enabling leadership. If a man leads his home well, that man can lead the society well. Ask the women, they will tell you. A good man starts from the kitchen, starts from the home.
Mr. Chairman, let's take this call and then we'll move away from politics or other issues. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
This is Mr. Justice One, and they're calling from Alakaya.
David One calling from Alakaya. Go on. You have the chairman of the local government here in the studio. Go on.
Yes, I want to ask the chairman the opinion they have for the youth. Because there is not a credit in the local government. So what does he have in mind for that issue as a youth development?
Youth empowerment. Thank you.
Well, let me tell the caller that as soon as I got into office, we made sure that youths are given an opportunity to express what they can offer to IKWERRE local government. And we did that by engaging close to 1,200 youths as ad hoc workers. In our cabinet alone, they're all youths. And they are producing wonderful results. Because as youths, they have the energy, they have the sagacity, they have the willpower to serve their people. If he comes to IKWERRE local government, he will know better. IKWERRE local government is one place where the youths are very comfortable with the activities that are going on. And we know that as the revenue improves, as our internally generated revenue improves, as the federal allocation revenue becomes better. And don't forget, like one of our problems we have, and which is going to be the center of our discourse in this forthcoming general election, is that whoever will govern this nation must understand that Rivers people are interested in just one item, restructuring. We want a situation where we will manage our resources and pay tax to the center. So that we can be able to turn Rivers State to the Dubai all of us have the dream to go to.
Good. Time is not on our side, but let's just take one last question and then we'll draw the curtains on this interview. Now, you are a disaster risk manager from your resume that we read. In 2015, if you recall, floodwaters took submerged parts of your local government area, particularly Igorita. And as a disaster risk manager, what measures did you take to cushion the effects of the floodwaters that submerged parts of some communities, particularly communities in the coastal area? Because we have floodwaters submerging communities now. Yes, tell us about it.
Well, first of all, I wasn't local government caretaker chairman when the flood occurred in 2015. I got into office 14th of November 2015. But let me talk about now that I'm executive chairman of the council. As soon as we got that warning from the meteorological department, we had to go to a closed door meeting, I and my team. And we looked at all our 14 communities and 13 wards, and we decided to design a program. This program are in stages, because you must check the vulnerability of the community. You must prepare them in the terms of readiness, and you must prepare to give immediate assistance in whatever form in case it occurs. For us in the IKWERRE local government, we have set aside funds to take care of these emergencies. By the grace of God, the rains are not subsiding, and it didn't happen in the IKWERRE local government this year. We're not sleeping. We believe that if maybe at the last lap of the rain it happens, what we have agreed, what we have put together, the program we have arranged, we use it to administer it. So we are ready as a people.
We're ready as a people. That's the final words from the chairman of IKWERRE local government area, the Honorable Samuel OSOROCHI NWANOSIKE. I want to thank you so much for your contributions, and for those of you who made calls, and of course those who also sent in text messages. We're sorry that we could not take your text messages, but we took a few of the calls. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this program.
Thank you very
I
much.
want to believe that whenever we call upon you, you will do us the honor again.
I'll be here by the grace of God.
So my colleagues who also supported the program to the success story we are recording now, I want to thank you so much. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid, signing off for another day when we shall bring another big guest on this program, Stewardship, live in the studios of River State Television, Channel 22, Port Harcourt. From me and Mr. Chairman, it's bye-bye. Stewardship with SNB.